lockdown in Canada. Since Friday, we've been in lockdown, which means all of the universities, the schools, daycares, and most of the works are suspended for at least 2 weeks. And for people who are lucky to work remote, they can continue to work from home. But for the rest of us, life is kind of just suspended. I think most people are quite upset with it because we don't have a lot of cases in Canada, and having all of our classes, exams, rotations, and even our medical licensing exams being cancelled, well, that just kind of screwed over our summer vacations. I think definitely this is not a good context for this to happen. I know that it's very difficult in a lot of countries. Families and many people are going through an extremely difficult times. But I think in light of the recent anger, frustration, and panic that I've sensed from people around the world, and that I've sensed in the last few hours from my classmates, my colleagues, facing the news that things are going to be suspended. In light of all of that, I think I'm just trying to bring in a new perspective, that which is make the best out of what we have. There are positive things associated with being a lockdown. I don't know for you, but for me, throughout my entire student life, I've procrastinated so much that I can't even tell you the amount of times where I just wished that the world stopped for a week or 2 weeks so that I can catch up. And I guess my wish has come true in a sense, right? This lockdown is kind of like the world stopping for 2 weeks. It's really great in that sense because we can finally catch up on things that we've always wanted to do. And for me, my plan is to really maximize my time in the next 2 weeks. Officially today is the first day of the quarantine or of the lockdown. I mean, eventually we'll have to get back to the normal life, and this is the perfect 2 weeks for me to really work on things that I've been wanting to do. Also just for me to catch up a little bit in my personal life and my school life. For today, I want to have a plan for the next 2 weeks, and to do that, I'm going to use my bullet point journal. I haven't been using it much really. I have all of these pages that are blank, but I'm going to put this boy to use, and I encourage you to follow along so that you can get some tips and motivation to also maximize your time off. You need 2 exercises. The first one that you're going to do is think about the priorities that you have for the next 2 weeks. What are the most important things that you want to do? And for me, that would be to continue to work out. And second of all, I think studying is still one of my top priorities because eventually I will have to take my licensing exam. I would like to continue to meditate, and I would like to start reading more. I used to have a better reading habit. I would like to go through some of the books that I picked up. So those 4 things would be my priority. And then the second exercise that you're going to do is you're going to write down a list of things that you have been neglecting or wishing to do. For me, definitely, I have stopped filming or editing for almost 5 months if you look at the timeline in my publication. So number 1 thing is I would like to continue filming and editing. Number 2 thing, since I will be living with my parents for the most part, and they're not working either for the next 2 weeks, I would like to spend some more quality time with them. Ever since I started clerkship, even though we live in the same household, I feel like we don't really talk much. Number 3, I would like to build in a productive routine, which kind of goes hands in hands with everything that I have been saying, is that I don't want to waste those 2 weeks, right? I want to use it to my advantage. 4, I would like to go out more, enjoy nature, just be more aware. Yeah, I feel like when I'm in school and always so busy, the seasons kind of just flash in front of my eyes, and sometimes it takes me a second to realize like, oh, it's almost spring, or like, oh, the winter's over. Kind of like I missed the whole season. Next, cooking. I had a pretty good meal prep routine that went on for a few months in my third year. That could also be a way that I spend time with my mom, because she does most of the cooking at home, so I can definitely help out, cook something together. And last but not least, relaxing. I mean, after all, it's 2 weeks off. It's 2 weeks where you don't have to wake up at 6 and catch the train and be there on time and impress people in the hospital, right? Do all those things, but know that you don't have to wake up early. You can sleep in. You can be your own boss for 2 weeks. After you've done those 2 exercises, I think you'd have a pretty good idea of what kind of activities and things you want to do each day in the next 2 weeks. And what I would suggest is to either at the end of the previous day or in the beginning of the current day, just write out a rough plan of what you plan to do today, and always referring to the list that you've made so that you can keep yourself accountable, keep yourself motivated. And for me, after reviewing the things on my list, today, March 14th, this is officially the first day of our 2 weeks or more lockdown. Obviously today I took a slow morning, so it's already 12 right now. So what I'll be doing is I will finish filming these segments, and after that I'm gonna go for a run because it's super sunny, and that might take 1 hour, come back, shower, then I'd probably say 3 p.m. I think I'll either study at home or with a friend. For supper, I think I'll be cooking and having dinner with my parents. And then in the evening, the plan is more flexible, so for sure I will meditate. I will do some reading, but then after that, I don't know whether I'm gonna get to edit this. And for sure at the end of the day, like I said, before I go to bed, I'm going to plan my next day. And I will be doing that for the next 2 weeks and see how that goes. I basically have no real commitment or plans for the next 2 weeks, which means this really is the perfect timing for me to do things for me and to really plan things freely. I'm done filming, so I'm gonna go for a run outside, and I hope you guys feel inspired and motivated to do something fun and productive for your time off, and I will see you next time.